Yeah, so I'm April Birch and I'm a PT by trade and I currently do that as well. But I also share and sell doTERRA essential oils and nutritional supplements for health needs. And the reason I do that is because my daughter, who's special needs, also has cystic fibrosis, and my son does. And I wanted some things that I could personally do in my home to look after them. And natural is always the best way for me.
Hmm.
And it really took me down a rabbit hole of finding things to help. And so, yeah, although that's my business, the reason I came to you for help is actually something that me and my husband are beginning because of our family situation. Yeah, quite a complex house that we have.
Your business is integrated into your life as well, into it,
It absolutely is,
which
yeah.
is good.
And
Yeah.
integrated into their healthcare, which is really what I'm looking for, that integrative healthcare. Yes, medical. I absolutely love modern medicine, but there are always gaps. And I know that just from being a PT,
Hmm.
exercise is one of the best forms of antidepressant, and yet very few people do it. So
Hmm.
being able to just put all of my knowledge and things into one place and help people with multiple things really
Hmm.
fits my personality. So I suppose the solution I was looking for was some information because I'm not technical whatsoever. And there was something that I wanted to do that was very technical, or at least it looked it from what we'd seen. Um, and so I needed to pick someone's brains that had a lot of information in it. And you have always come across like you have a lot of information in your head. And so basically, I wanted to pick your brains and make sure that I could understand it on my level, what I needed to do, the very like basic process of what I needed to do. So that was what I was trying to solve, or the solution I was looking for.
I don't want you to let the cat out of the bag with anything, because we're going to publish this, but just be mindful of that. But is there anything you can disclose on that's not kind of commercially sensitive that you don't want to?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it. We've
Mm.
begun recording. No, we're going to be out there soon. Yes. So basically we are starting a podcast, my husband and I, and it's going to be very much surrounded surrounded in and amongst our family life. It's going to be about, special needs, cystic fibrosis, parenting, marriage in some respects because of how that strains us, and family and growing, having a second child with the same condition but not the special needs and disabilities, and maneuvering through life like that. That's what we wanted to start. So we got a microphone that you recommended. We actually upgraded because we got a prime deal.
Which one did you get, April?
It's called Rode. That's my limited knowledge,
Oh,
Michael.
did you get the video mic NTG?
We didn't get a video. We got the mic,
Yeah,
but it was the one you'd suggested, but the next one up had come down in price. It wasn't too much of a jump to go to the next one, so we got the
yeah,
next.
got you.
We do have a camera. Don't ask me which one. We are playing around with the lighting currently. We're taking everything that you said into account whilst we're doing it, literally in a home. We're either recording in the living room or the kitchen once the kids are in bed at night, because it's the only space we have available right now. But going forward, this is what I do know is we will be returning to that. Michael, what would you do in this situation now? Or can we have another session about editing? Or can we join that particular, group or course, whatever you're doing? Because
Mm.
we can only go so far as amateurs. You need to get some information from someone else. But that's basically what we're trying to do. And having that support around you with the information you need to do it. I've got all the things I need to say in my head, but being able to record them properly, sound, lighting, and all that technical stuff, which I had no clue about. When you said you have to have 3 lights, I was like, what for? Just stick a light on. All of that is extremely helpful, and hopefully will be the very beginning of something that can help I hope a lot of families resonate and laugh along, with the situations we come up against.
You came in with a bunch of questions, didn't you? And we recorded it, and then you and your husband could watch it for the first time because we're only you on the session, and then you could both then not rewind. It's not a tape, is it, Michael? I'm showing my age now, but you could watch different bits and then note down what you were going to buy and all the So do you just want to, just so we've got a little overview?
Yeah. So we wanted to know, right, what microphone. We knew we needed a better microphone than just a laptop. Could we record on a laptop? I know that there was a possibility even to record on phones from the session, you were telling me, which is incredible. And we wanted to know about lighting. We wanted to kind of know, what things won't we have thought about, because we're not in your industry. We have no idea. And so from there, we came away with a list of affordable to begin with, because our budget isn't massive, which ones we could get that would still do a very good job. And then as we move up, and even Jonathan said the other day, yeah, I reckon in about a year's time, we go up to this camera, and, having that insight that as you grow, your equipment does as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then lighting, we took all your suggestions on board, and it makes such a difference when you're actually doing it, doesn't it?
It does. It really does, doesn't it? It's amazing. It's like night and day, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's mad. So yeah, that was basically, it was about an hour's worth of me picking your brains at how you start a podcast and where you record and what you record it on. And coming away from that, I realized I could record it through Zoom because I get audio and video. And then that gives me options of where to publish that, which was not even on my radar of understanding, never mind thinking about doing it. So, and then the lighting, the camera, and all the rest. And so I came away with, I would say, everything I need to begin. And then going back to the video itself, when we're a bit more established, I'm hoping will give us a bit more. And then we'll revisit yourself actual, in a Zoom. I'd say in person, but you know what I mean, in Zoom, to be able to continue that. Because one of the things that it is inaccessible right now is the in-person things, to come and hire a studio, because we just physically can't get anywhere. We're tied to the house and the routines here. But you never know one day. So that's a possibility, and you already there set up for that. It's nice to know and have that in the background of what's possible.
That's brilliant. I'm really, really pleased it's had that impact and results, April, that. So
you too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, it's amazing. Lighting makes a massive difference, like you said. It is amazing when you first see it, when you set up some good lights, and it really is night and day. I mean, you can get away with having quite a mediocre camera actually, but really good lighting, and it's
good.
Quite amazing. And then people won't forgive bad audio, but they will probably forgive like bad video. So yeah, lighting and audio really key. So just to make it clear, it's a video podcast, obviously, isn't it? So it's not an audio only podcast. So it's a video podcast. So you're obviously having guests on, and
yeah, we're beginning with 14 years ago, when we were thrown into this world of medical and special needs and disabilities, and the impact that had on us. I mean, that our first child, that was our experience with our first child. So we don't know any different. But then we have Wyatt 10 years later, and he does have cystic fibrosis, and that's a stomach punch, but he doesn't have the disabilities. So we have somewhat of this typical childhood that this is the first time we're doing it. We didn't have this. So it's kind of magical and kind of different, and all different scenarios. And yeah, it's not going to be just audio, and we really just want to get it out there. And if this only helps us process some stuff, that would be enough. But if it helps one other person process some stuff, or just listen along and think, gosh, I'm not alone. That you're not alone. This is a little world that I feel like is just untouched in the general public. But there's so many of us that go through things like this. I think a lot of people could relate, and we just want to get out there and hope that we're useful to someone.
Yeah. Onwards and upwards then, April. That's brilliant.
Onwards, yeah.
Onwards and upwards, that's what I always say.
Yeah, it's really hard recording at night time. That's what we've realised. One, we're absolutely shattered, but we really want to do it. So we just have to fight the lighting situation. Is it bad to go more? Sorry to ask you a question, but is it bad to go 4 or 5 lights, if it's a dark enough room?
Yeah, you can, as many lights as you need, really. It's like the traditional 3-point lighting setup is probably the minimum. But I mean, you can have like bigger lights which kick out more light. You can have, you know, lights in different positions like an overhead and that, and if it's powerful enough. I think the most important thing as well is making sure that it's diffused. So it's got that, you know, that diffusion on it, so it's not really hard light, so it's nice and soft and flattering light as well. But yeah, as many lights as you need. You know. And then I suppose the natural progression, I think you touched on this, April, is what made my service stand out from other options. And I think you've alluded to that already. Like, you know, I think you submit presentation, we're in the same networking group. People buy from the know, like, and trust, don't they? So it's building up that trust, building up that kind of authority as an expert in a subject. And I think I use that expert kind of label quite lightly, because I think it's a lifelong, it's your life's work, isn't it? You're always iteratively improving in terms of professional and development. But yeah, just leading on from that then. So what made me or my service stand out from other options that you might have considered?
So if I'm honest, you do talk a lot, Michael. And the good thing about that is you give a lot away about the things you know about. And you don't just, so in the networking group, you know, we offer a little bit about what we do, but you always pitch in then when someone else might have something, either to give a testimonial of that yourself because you've used it, or a solution to something else. Like, you don't just stop at, I'll give the basics and then you have to all pay for my time after that. You're very free and willing in giving that information away, and that takes down a barrier as far as I'm concerned in networking, because I want to help people in my line of work, and I know what that feels like, and I can see that reflected in others, even if our businesses are a million miles apart of what we do and how we help people. And so just that genuinity of you happy to help people regardless of, you know, I'm not saying you do everything for free, I don't mean that, but in the actual networking group, you don't just go, oh, I know, but I'm not telling you, so you'd need to pay for my time for that. Like, I sample people, it's a bit like you sampling us. So I sample people some of my products, but then if you want more, there becomes a time where I'm like, so this is how you would buy it.
Yeah.
Like that with you, you're sampling. But the good thing is it's not just sampling in one area. So I'd heard you say lots of different things, and that was like, okay, collectively, I want that information.
Any things that you like to improve upon the service, or anything that you particularly liked about it as well, that just kind of sealed the deal in going ahead with it?
No, if I'm honest, because I had been thinking about, so it's not common knowledge what I actually want to do, and it isn't going to be for a little while. You did touch on it, I know, but it's not something that I had spoken to a lot of people about. It was in my head, and I thought, I need someone to tell me how to start from the very bottom. I need someone. And then you rejoined our networking group because you'd been in my mind. But I was like, we haven't chatted in a while. He might have forgotten entirely who I am, but I think it's someone like him I need to talk. And then you came back to the group, and I was like, right, there's my sign. That's who I need to speak to. Over Zoom is perfect. That was a plus for me because I don't have time to travel about. I'm very much tied to my house, my children, school drop-offs and pickups. They're not a usual time frame. And so being able to do it online was absolutely key. So if you couldn't do it online, then I wouldn't have been able to take your services. There are others that would be the exact opposite, I'm sure, but not for me. Online became a silver lining of everything that happened in the last few years. I think my only reservation was actually saying it out loud to somebody. So you have to find a little bit of trust in someone, even if you don't know them very well, that they're not going to go, what a stupid idea, as if you could do that. So you do have to give a little bit of your trust away that this person's going to go, fab idea, this is where you'll start, and you need this, this, and this, which is exactly what you did. So,
what was one unexpected benefit you experienced from using our service?
Unexpected benefit. I tell you what it was. I don't necessarily know if it's unexpected. Having the recording.
Mm.
I didn't have to write notes because I wanted to share this with my husband, who, you know, is technical, but has never done what we're about to do. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go find this information. But then I was able to share this with him. I just let him listen to it. I was like, this is the results. He went away from there and he's like, yep, let's do this and get that one, and then we'll begin. So that's kind of a silver lining, isn't it, of the
Yeah.
Zoom approach. And you know what? We've just done it. It's spurred us on. I don't know if that's the right terminology, because we were going to do it anyway. But then having the information, we probably did things a little bit quicker. So once you get the information, well, once I do, I kind of roll with it. I want to do whatever I've decided to do. So yeah, we've actually recorded some stuff since I spoke to you last. So that's exciting.
Yeah, you'll have to send me it, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So the first question is, would you recommend the service, and could you think anybody we could recommend it to? I mean, we can keep this off video, actually, if there are any names that you think of, but is there anybody who you think would benefit from the service as well, who's think maybe similar position to you, thinking about doing something more with video and, you know, putting something together?
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend it, and recommend a session with you around any of the things you're an expert in, because of the amount of information someone will come away with, which is invaluable. So because I network in a few different networking groups with people, the easiest way to answer that is yes. When someone says, I'm struggling here, I need to do this, that's the person I'll say, I know who you need to go to. And it's having those people, you know, kind of in your corner to like, this is who I use for this, Michael is who I use for that, this is who I use for this. And being able to trust that if we send someone to you, they won't go, what did you do? They'll go, that was amazing, and I know what I'm doing now. So yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely already in my, you know, the forefront of my mind when I'm networking, to listen out for people, looking for people, and your good self.